If you're a teenager in America, you likely spend a good amount of time scrolling social media for your own personal reasons, whether it's due to wanting to keep up to date on current events, communicating with your friends, posting your own content, or any of the above. With all of these, well, statistics find that you probably utilize social media apps for at least an hour a day. With all of the perks that with all the perks of using social media that we're constantly exposed to, we don't normally stop to consider just how much our usage of these applications affects us. As a teenager myself, I decided to research the effects that the excessive use of social media can have on the brain, and I've found that the use of these apps proves to be actively damaging to mental health, especially that of adolescents. Despite the benefits of using social networks, excessive use of these platforms can have adverse effects on the mind and lead to the degradation of mental wellness. To counter the deleterious results of social media overuse, we teenagers should make an effort to monitor ourselves and limit our usages of social media applications, and parents should encourage their teenagers to limit their activities on these apps and sites for everyone's safety. To begin my reasoning as to why social media, despite having several benefits, can be ultimately harmful for the mind, I'll discuss how excessive use of these platforms can become addictive and cause harm in the long term. For example, a study has found that garnering likes and comments can make the brain produce a similar reaction to opioids or cocaine. The study goes on to discuss how a teen girl's time spent on social networks was found to be directly proportional to that of her suicide rate. This goes to show how vast of an impact these apps can have on teens without us even realizing the reasoning behind it. Teenagers use social media at such high rates because it can act as a kind of dopamine dispenser or something to fill slots of free time with. Worldwide, 35% of teenagers say they're on social media almost constantly, checking whenever they have a free minute. Because of this fact, more and more adolescents tend to turn to scrolling social networks mindlessly, which can turn into obsessive use over time. The ADAA, Anxiety and Depression Associates of America, find that this kind of obsessive use of social media found within teenagers can also lead to developing attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD. Some symptoms of ADHD are being unable to concentrate on tasks, constant fidgeting, and hyperactivity, which have all been analyzed to be found more commonly in adolescents who tend to use social media more than others. ADHD develops naturally in some, but these studies show signs can become more severe if the subject is constantly using the internet. There are lists upon lists of the negative effects that social media has on the human brain, and teenagers are more prone to these detriments. As a result of these effects, I feel that limiting our use of social media as teenagers collectively will help to decrease the percentage of us that have to struggle with social media addiction. Moving along, other than how overusing social media can affect and alter your brain chemistry, the content we see on these apps has the potential to destroy our self-confidence and tear down key developmental skills. By this, I mean that posts promoting eating disorders, body shaming, and other harmful subjects can be pushed onto your personal content pages via promotion, and it can negatively affect the way people see their own bodies. An example of this would be how teen girls who use social media have been found to have higher rates of anorexia nervosa due to unrealistic body expectations perpetuated by social media accounts. Not only does this expose a dangerous side to social media as a whole, but it allows parents to peer into a window of how teenagers' minds can be altered to think that what they see online is a global truth, solely because of the rate in which people like or share the videos or posts. Personally, I have also been greatly affected by social media, as it has altered the way I do everyday things like clean, comb my hair, and do other daily tasks. Finding out something is popular and everyone else seems to do it can seriously sway an impressionable teenager's mindset, whether it be for small, insignificant chores like mine or for big, life-changing outlooks. As a result of the prior points, I've developed my personal opinion that excessive use of social media is extremely damaging to teens and that efforts should be made to prevent teenagers from becoming addicted to it. However, some people beg to differ. Critics state that social media helps mental health, if anything. They state that they help strengthen social groups and aid connectivity, especially during areas in which people are required to be separated. While this may be partially true, the cons of constantly being on social media outweigh the pros of emotional closeness. So to combat the lengthy list of cons that are stacked against obsessional media use, I believe that teenagers should take personal measures to assure that they are using social media in healthy increments. Also, parents should take note of their teens' mental health in relation to the amount that they are spending time on social media, and encourage breaks for the well-being of their child. If we work together for this common goal of decreasing the amount of people that will suffer from mental health issues due to the overuse of social media, our efforts will be clearly reflected. To recapitulate, social media has been analyzed to have adverse effects on the mind, specifically within teenagers, and it can cause things like addiction, suicide rates increasing, and other wide-ranging outcomes. After listening to this speech, I encourage all teenagers to consider just how long they've been spending on social media and to contemplate how it may be affecting the way they behave or feel. I also urge all parents to present an open ear for their teenager to talk to or listen to any of their concerns relating to social media or not. Thank you for listening. Amanda?